So we have all of that. This system is not a learning management system. It's an e-learning authoring tool. So we'll give you, so I'll explain all about that and what that means, but learning management system LMS is, we also have one of those as well, but this isn't that. This is helping us create courses really quickly. It's creating an e-learning file, a SCORM file. All right, so session overview. What is AI Course Creator and how is it different? We're going to do a practical demo, including creating a course, editing themes, and sharing, and of course, pricing. We're going to go over, and if you have any feedback and questions. All right, so what is AI Course Creator and how are we different? So firstly, it's an incredible AI-powered authoring tool. It's going to help create courses really quickly. If the people here, I'm sure, have been using tools like Articulate, you know, there are plenty of AI tools on the market, but I think you'll find when I show you some examples here that this tool is a jump above everything else in terms of what it does to create you a really nice content. The reason being for that, user-friendly interface, we have AI-assisted editing. The reason why we're different is that we trained our tool with our instructional design team that creates our e-learning content for our content providers as well. So what we trained it with the vet sector in Australia in mind, but I think that what that does is give you a really good methodology for design. We use the tell, show, do methodology, so provide content, practical examples, case studies, and scenarios and show, and then of course a formative assessment quiz. So do is a formative assessment quiz. We have beautiful and custom themes as well, so you can choose the themes that are there, but you can also customize them quite dramatically for your own logos and customizations, and I'll show you all that. What we're doing is structuring the course with images and flip cards built directly into the overall design. And it uses a scaffolding approach as well. So it's something that I think you'll find is very lacking in the AI development space at the moment. So I think you'll see that the output that you get from what we do is significantly better. And we're going to go over and we're going to do it. We also publish into any LMS via a SCORM output, or it also integrates via LTI. So I can explain all that when we get to the sharing component of what we're doing today. But the idea is that you can put into pretty much any LMS that you want to get the output of learning management. Want to get the output that you need, and that's like often people will use SCORM as an output, but also it integrates by LTI, which gives you a direct connection. So if you make any changes, you'll be able to, it'll just be in real time. Changes will affect your what's on your system currently. So let's see this eBot in action. Now I've got an example. This is an Australian accredited example that I'm going to use, but just understand that we don't have to do that. I have some actually I have some pre-done examples that I might show you first to show you what can be produced with this. The first one I might just show you our one with accredited unit of competency. With this one here, I actually did this in a previous webinar. This one here I used this VSB Fin unit. The reason I used this one was because of the unit is available in many courses, and I'm going to do another one today that's available in a lot of different qualifications. The reason why it's important is because often you want a different contextualization depending on what area it is. So we'll go through one of these today, but just know if you're not doing accredited learning, that doesn't matter. Australian accredited learning isn't necessary here. This will create some really awesome non-accredited work as well. I'll give you this example here. I am working with, I am working with an RTO here, but they're doing a non-accredited course for an Aboriginal corporation in an Aboriginal corporation. And this envisioning empowerment workshop, I had a Bible of like say 50 pages or so of what they normally do when they go out to visit on site. It's not a learner guide, it's just like what they do, and a PowerPoint. And I uploaded them into the tool and did a little bit of prompting. It wasn't much prompting like I'll show you today. And it generated me a very significant course, including some of the imaging, uh, all scaffolded into the course, which is really nice. So I'll start the course. I'll show you what this means. So obviously, learning objectives is sort of like a title page with a little blurb on each of the sections. Oh, by the way, I haven't edited this at all. This is as it was produced from the output. Okay, and so obviously you'll probably edit your course as well, but this is really exciting what it can produce from day one, right, in 20 minutes. You'll notice that it's using a lot of Aboriginal artwork, flip cards, and you saw the accordion before. It builds you, it generates all these images with AI. This example here is using some AI like icons and logos. I didn't actually choose any of this. It generated this automatically. Even the input didn't have these cool logos and customization. The other really cool thing I noticed was this our community aspect. That's their logo. Huh? So, not their logo, their tagline underneath their logo. It actually put that on the wall, and it used the logo for their shirts as well. Like it's really really nice looking design. Lays out very similarly to Articulate Rise if you're familiar with that. And yeah, and obviously available. So looking at the mobile version of the site, it actually drops away the menus on the side, so it makes it easier to tablet version, desktop version. So yeah, very cool stuff. That's the previews. Very contextualized content, as you noticed, which is very cool. All right, let's get into this. So what I've done, I've decided to use a CHC Div1 unit. So this unit is actually available in a lot of qualifications. Right? So I wanted to make it clear that I was using this in a community sector, not in early childhood, not in individual support, active volunteering, none of these other ones, right? So just so you know, we're trying to contextualize it to the community service space, and that's really cool. All right, so that's what I've done. This is your main page. You'll get your own login to this page, and you'll notice that it's demo one at eSkilled. You'll get your own subdomain so that you'll know it's yours. You'll hit create course, and then I've actually done some pre-work, so you don't have to watch me type out some prompting, which is pretty good, pretty important, I think. So what I'm going to do here is just use this CHC Div001 unit, right? So what I've done is I've jumped onto training.gov in Australia. I've downloaded that unit. Of course, if you're in overseas and you have other units or courses that you're wanting to generate into here, just know that you can use whatever structure you want. It doesn't have to say unit of competency. But what I've done is I've downloaded this unit and downloaded and specified that it's from the community sector. So I've done CHC Div1, work with diverse people. I've described my course audience, all workers in support service careers, workers who provide first point of contact and assist individuals in meeting their immediate needs. The workers are based in Far North Queensland. I thought I'd start with the contextualization of location so that I'm going to keep backing that up in this conversation, right? And this course is the CHC Div01, work with diverse people, as part of a Cert 2 in community services. The workers are based in Far North Queensland. Notice I keep on backing that up. Sorry, Nicole asked a question. Hold on. Can you create modules / content that includes a cluster of units of competency? That's a very good question, and yes, you can. It works really best at a unit by unit level. You get enough content for that. But yes, you can. I wouldn't be throwing in the units of competency there. Those units of competency so that you've got sort of a total output and then upload that as a document. You'll notice I'll show you the document upload section. So yes, you can. Just know I wouldn't be going a full qualification in this cluster. I would sort of be maybe clustering a couple of units at a time. I wouldn't be clustering a full qual. But you know, it's you can always give it a shot if you want to try doing as big as you want. Just know that you'll probably want to structure a bit of a clustered output in terms of elements and performance criteria as well to generate you the right output there. So just take that into consideration. But yes, I believe you can. The next thing, we're using creative here. The course creation type is really important because we have two different types of creation. The first type is creative, and this is the one I'm going to show you today because it gives you I think it gives you the best output. Yeah. The second type here is document conversion. So if you have a learner guide or something that is already done via paper, like a paper document that you're wanting to convert, but you love stuff that you can use document conversion. I would still be prompting it anyway, because then after you hit document conversion at the end of that section, once you've generated your course, you can then use AI to edit the course. So still prompt it, but just throw in document conversion, and it'll only allow you to upload that one file. But I'm using creative here, and I've attached the unit of competency. But just understand, you can attach whatever you want. When I go into these documents here, there's a whole selection of different possible documents you can add, whether it be curriculum documents. So, Nicole, I would probably, if you were doing that module, like a clustered unit of competency, I would probably produce a curriculum document first and then upload that curriculum document here so it generates you a really good output. Learner resources, that's what I did with the Aboriginal Corporation version that I used. I used learning resources, and I uploaded the Bible, their Bible, and their workshop Bible. I'm referring not the real Bible, workshop Bible, and their PowerPoint. I used the learning resources tag to upload. But yeah, you can upload whatever you want: staff handbooks, policies and procedures, industry-specific standard legislation, whatever you want in here, and it's going to generate you a course based on that. Now, I've already added the unit, which gives me sort of 8,600 characters. You can use up to 500,000. So that gives you a lot of space to upload stuff. So let's do that. Now, I've also put in, so let's move on. Step 2. So course context. Select your course breadth and depth. So that's how much text you want, right? Now, it can get quite a lot. If you use comprehensive, it'll generate you a lot of text, right? So I'm just using standard for this. I would, in this particular unit, I might even use a focus because it gets enough output with focus. It doesn't sort of overlearn even just with focus. So yeah, you can have a play and see where you fit in terms of how much text you want. But yeah, the comprehensive generates you a lot of text, so you may not want that much. So I'm just going with standard for this. Reading level, it goes from 5-year-old to university graduate level, which is difficult. Just know that I would always consider my lowest learning level, reading level, of the lowest learner in the class, because often it's better to use more simple language. Yeah, so I'm going standard for this. You might even go fairly easy, but just know that fairly difficult is probably graduated qualification already, and fairly easy is probably a bit too easy in this scenario. So I'd go standard for this. Language, English UK. Obviously, we have different languages. I think there's 96 different languages from what unless I've gone up from that, but yeah, 96 different languages. It will also generate you in that language. It's not going to translate what you have into that language. It's going to generate it, right? Which is really important. Tone of voice, that's tone of the language being used. Right? So I'm saying professional here, but you can go casual or funny or dramatic or encouraging, lots of different options. And then, of course, very important, country context. So if you're using, I'm doing Australia here, but if you're using this course anywhere else, you've got to make sure that you specify your country context, because it will generate you content based on that, right? It's very important. And then other contextual considerations. So this can be just about anything, especially things that are going to help with case studies, right? So consider workers looking to improve skills within their community sector roles. Use an example of Aboriginal community organisation in Final Queensland. I thought I would throw that in as well, just to show you what you can generate. Next, course settings. So this gives me the options of what I want in my course, right? So firstly, category is just how we categorize it, how you save the course within your structure. Topic navigation is either free or linear. So free navigation just means I can go to any subtopic at any time. Linear, most accredited courses are using linear because they want the students to regress in a certain order. That's important. So we're going free for this just so I can flick. Just once it's produced, include videos. So this is going to search YouTube for relevant videos in the subtopic. Include images. I would just, while you're testing this, and especially in general, I would always use include images here, because images aren't just like stock images, right? They're going to be scaffolded. They're going to be flow charts and diagrams, and they're going to be some really important things to take note of there. Add learning objectives. Obviously, we talked about that at the start, but that's a title page with a little blurb on each topic. Include case studies. I would always suggest yes for this, because otherwise, how is it tell, show, do? Show being what the course is, and then select course theme. So you can fully customize the themes, and we'll go into that we'll go into that in a second. Sorry, Robin's asked a question. Is this include images a new feature? Yes, Robin. It's fairly new. Well, within the last few months. When I say include images, the difference between what we did before and what we're doing now is when you include images, it fully scaffolds the course, right? I mean, it will scaffold the course anyway, but the reason we were able to get this output and this quality is by including images and diagrams that it generates. So it's using the AI to generate them, therefore it does use more credits, Robin. That's one thing to note than you might have looked at previously, but I think you'll find that the output is significantly better than what it used to be. Like better than anyone on the market. Is what I've been told by a lot of people. Now I'm just going to use this course thing because I actually enjoy this course. It's my favorite course thing, the autumn one. But yeah, you can fully customize these, choose your own, create your own from scratch. So yeah, you can use your own custom design things, your marketing information to produce your courses under your name. Right. And then we're going to go next. And the last step is quiz setting. So are we doing no quiz, true or false, single multiple choice, or a combination of true, false, single multiple choice, fill in the blanks, and matching? I'm going to choose that. That gives you like a lot of options. These are just a bunch of different options for that. Do we want to allow for question on the wrong answer, so on and so forth? And then I'm going to hit generate. Now this quick generate is going to give me an outline of the course that I'm doing, and our little ebot here is painting his masterpiece. It takes a few minutes, a few moments to generate you an outline. Now that outline is going to be relevant to your course content, right? So this is why Nicole was saying to make sure that you use the right input to try and make sure that the course creates it. If you're using content over a multitude of units, you need to make sure you cluster the elements and performance criteria the same way as you would cluster the course content. Right? So if just take that into consideration. But yeah, he's painted his masterpiece. Love his little hat. It's really cute. Let's go. All right. So this is going to give me an outline and a guess on how many generation credits it's going to right? So, all right. So we've got 4 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, okay. We've got a few courses. This might take a little bit. This might take a bit more than 20 minutes. We'll see how we go. You'll notice with images, it's 1,000,000 generation credits. Right? So the base package is only 1.7 million. So just understand that you'll probably be purchasing credits on top of the basic package output. Right? Because mostly, especially while you're creating, you don't want to be purchasing credits each month that are not going to be used. So we sort of start with a really basic amount, and then you can always add later, right? Just understand that the output is significantly better, and that's why there's more generation. So 1,050,000. That's a good guess. You know, of course, it's a guess. It's always estimates, but it does a pretty good job. All right, so we're going to hit go. Just understand, you would probably review these things, review all the topics and subtopics, probably remove some, add some in, maybe turn a subtopic into a full topic if you think it needs it, before you hit generate. Because I think that's the key here. Having the topics and subtopics make sure that it's producing the right output from the dot, right? Rather than having to edit things later, right? So we're going to hit generate. And this is what will take some time. This will take about 20 minutes. So in that time, I'm going to go through a bunch of other things. I might start with themes, but I'm thinking it's got like almost 30 topics here. So we'll see how we go. And then I was waiting for this to finish so I can know how many. But I'll come back to this now. All right, let's just jump into this. All right, let's start with themes. So you'll notice here that we've got a bunch of themes. We put a few themes in there by default, right? But understand you can edit them or you can create your own from scratch. Right? I'm just going to go into one we have, not the one we're using now, because I don't want to muck with the course right now. But let's go into playful. Edit that. You'll notice there's a bunch of options here. So theme information is just the basic. Theme style, right? That sort of tells you what the front cover image is like on the completion page. Like, right? You've got understand it's always generating you a new image for the front cover anyway. You don't have to worry about that part of it. It never used to, but it does. This is why you get the option to choose the cover page, but just understand it's going to auto, if you have include images, it's going to auto generate a new version. Title fonts, background. You'll notice it even talks about the graduation of the start button color. You've got start color 1, 2, and it will sort of graduate that start button. Completion page is obviously the wrong completion page for a childcare setting type course, but you get the point. You can add your own. You'll probably, it's not going to generate you a back page, so you might want to use one or get AI to generate it. Course content banner. These are your sort of banners within your course. We've already got a bunch in there, but just understand you can edit those too. If you have your own sort of branding stuff you want to throw in there, there's icons for each section. You've got the default ones that are there, but you can edit those. And when you go to add a new icon, it will actually give you default icons as well. And default hotspot names as well. So yeah, that's the course content banner section. Course builder. Now you'll notice there's a bunch of little settings on the side here, right? So we've got image settings, like am I rounding corners? Am I creating some opacity? Am I, table settings and colors, font, all of that, table alignment, interactive activities. So we've got a little plus icon there or a cross icon there, but you can just know you can default icons. There's a bunch of default ones as well. And you can also browse free icon libraries. And then of course preview, that's sort of like what happens in the top left hand menus, hamburger menus as well, what we talked about before. That sort of hides away the side menu. The colors, fonts, everything. Course heading, topic. Course heading allows you to see that left hand corner image and name, and topic heading is sort of like the top banner. But yeah, that's the theme. Now let's see how our outline is going. Oh, we've got 29 topics and we're up to 1. So we'll have a few things to go through here anyway. Next thing I wanted to touch on was content, right? So you'll notice that it has this, the way that this is structured is you've got a left-hand side menu for all of your side menus, right? You can open up topics, and then they open up their subtopics underneath. Mostly it throws in a case study here and there at the end of each subtopic. Yeah. You'll notice that when it's generating with the, you can like this bit of text here, right? I can use my Hotspot AI text assistant. You can notice the AI stars, the stars mean that it's AI. So I can expand that text, bullet point, summarize, and it's going to use AI to regenerate or even prompt edit that text. There's also text to speech, which will give you like a way to listen. I might actually show you an example of that, and then text to image as well. And then yeah, so if I go text to speech to this, I'm going to generate a voice for it. I can. You can use, you know, English UK will just give you straight English voices, but yeah, you've got all these languages. Now, when you generate in a language, the text that's in the language, it's reading out the text. So it's going to read it out in whatever language is there, right? But it will use whichever accent you want, right? So I'm doing English UK and doing William here because apparently sounds pretty nice. But we've got lots of different options for voices. Some are more robotic than others, but I think you'll find William's sort of mid-range, good average. But you'll find that there's a lot of different voices. So if I hit convert, it's going to convert here. We're going to use his gardening now. And the AI assisted editing, he's gardening. It's pretty cool. I love Ebot. We even have a big suit, an Ebot suit that we took to the last build conference that attended. That's pretty cool. We've successfully converted some audio. Now, I did do text to audio, so hopefully you can hear this, guys. Hopefully you can hear this in the actual GoToWebinar. Here we go.
Diagnosing errors in source documents before you process a transaction. In a farm office, most transaction problems start with a source document that is incomplete, unclear, or does not match other paperwork.
Can everyone else hear the text? Throw a question there.
Source document is the original evidence for a transaction, such as a supplier invoice, receipt, a purchase order, a statement, a timesheet.
Yeah, so that's text to audio. It does a really good job of pausing at the right moments and doing all that, which is really good. It even reads out tables for people. You can also do text to audio for the whole thing. Once you're happy with the text, you just hit text to speech for everything, and then it'll generate. It takes a little bit longer, of course. It'll generate. It can generate extra images, scenarios, or case studies as you need to, and of course, practical examples too. There's interactive activities here, flip cards and hotspots. In terms of hotspots, I actually love this one because it allows you to put an image in, right, and then put hotspots on that image. So if I add an image here, I'm not going to use AI to generate. What I'll do is I'll just browse the free image libraries, that too. I like Unsplash better. We're going to go find there. What images come up with that? Okay, cool. Cool with them. Fancy one in. All right, we can go, fast and add multiple classes. And you can throw them along a line, and then you can add the text. You just hit edit and then add the text for each hotspot. Right? And then if I hit save here, and then preview, preview. Show you what it looks like when it's in a real scenario. You'll notice it has a little. Add those in. There's also media areas. So interactive step slides are pretty cool. You've got the normal step slides, hotspots, flip cards. You've got video, audio, or document viewers. Obviously, you saw accordions and you saw flip cards. Now, with the flip cards, you can also edit those as well. So let's see if I can find some. With this one, maybe you want to add text on image, but maybe you just want to have an image and you want to put the text on the back. Or you can just, your heart's like an idea of having images on the front and then text on the back. Yeah, you can, and then they can flip it and see. Jacob asks, I could hear that clearly, which confirms for me that your mic is horrible. Yeah, it's possible that that's my mic. Apologies, guys. Thank you, Jacob. Appreciate the feedback. I'll make sure we do. I might just put that down if maybe. It did say when I'm sharing audio that I should turn off my mic, so maybe that was my problem. Apologies for that. All right. And that's sort of the editing, and notice there's lots of little AI components as well within everything that we do. There's even actually what you can also do. Let's say I want to get rid of that stapler there, right? I can do that. I can go edit with AI. Any images? Just go remove. And it'll remove the stapler from the image. It's normally pretty good at this, actually. So hopefully it does the right thing in this the demo. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Get through the generation. That's good news. And there. Oh, here we go. Already remove the safe last thing. All gone. You could do whatever you like there. Maybe you want to use the different countries' PowerPoints. It's already pretty good at figuring out what sort of things it should do. It's funny because like signs, for instance, you think, oh yeah, different signs are different everywhere. But if you have a context in there, it'll be very good at picking up the context of those signs and everything. Yeah, we could use that if I wanted. Yeah. So next thing is in terms of sharing, right? So what I wanted to do is sort of show you can download. So what you'll find when you go into the annual subscription is that you can download SCORM files. Now, SCORM files is literally just download SCORM, and there's two different options. With some older LMS design systems, you'll find that you'll have to use enable simple sequencing and SCORM 2004 4th edition. Mostly we use 1.2 for most LMS systems, so you can think about that as your primary, and then if it's not working, you can always jump into the simple sequencing version, right? That's it. That's to download SCORM, but just remember, you have to go on the annual download. Otherwise, your best bet is to connect it via LTI. So you can do that. So firstly, that's that. And then if I go back, what I'm going to do is jump back into so any course you're wanting to generate here, a couple in Chinese there. If I want to use that one. If I'm wanting to share this course, I go to the three dots in the top right hand corner, and then you can enable LTI, or you can download SCORM. Then these are preview links, so that's what I showed you before, the preview link. Right? You can also see how many generation credits each course uses. Right? And if I go enable LTI 1.3, I can then connect LTI 1.3 in any LMS. The LMSs that have the LTI compatibility, which is a good majority of the main ones anyway, you can jump into those systems, connect the two systems via the subdomain, and then link it. And then you use a key in the LMS, and you use a domain name in our settings, in the administration settings. Right? Let's see how we're going with our course. We're up to 11. All right. That's how to share. Was there any questions on any of that in any of the LMS stuff? Anyone have any questions on the LMS stuff? But I think there's a lot of very experienced designers in here that would know that 100%. But if you had any questions about learning management systems, obviously, one thing to note there is that this is content. This isn't a list of what students have done. An LMS system is going to store what each of the students have done, right? So the idea is that we're creating courses here, and then we're putting them into an LMS, so that you can determine what they've done. All right. So costing, pricing. This is in Australian dollars. Obviously, you have a dollar selection menu on the side to choose different dollars. If you want a custom solution, obviously you can reach out and we can look at that as well. So monthly, obviously there's no SCORM compatibility, but on the starter tier, on the basic tier, you get one user. That's one person creating courses. Robin's asked a question. I've created courses in the past. Can I go back and recreate them to include images? Absolutely, Robin. Yes. I understand you'll use some more generation credits, but yeah, of course. Yeah. I would. In fact, I would guarantee you get a better result. Right. So yes is the answer to that. Now you'll notice one user is one person creating courses. 20 gig of included storage. Now you'll rarely touch this when you're talking about videos. If you don't upload your videos and you link them via an embed code, which is actually really easy to produce in YouTube or Vimeo, and then copy the link in there. You can throw. Then you won't use any of your storage. In this case, it'll rarely go near the 20 gig of storage. Right? So you know. In terms of generation credits, this is every month. It gives you an amount of credits, and then if you go beyond that, you can purchase on top. All right. So 1.7 million generation credits per month. So each month you can use a couple of courses with images. And then 50 course limit. So that gives you 50 courses in total on your package. And then one connection by LTI. You'll notice you can also purchase extra storage here, $1 per gig per month. And you can also purchase generation credit back. They're non-expiry generation credits, so they won't expire each month like the plan does. All right, the plan. Right? Now, if I go to annual, you'll notice you get a discount on the rate. Right? That's something to note. At every point in time, the annual gives you a slight discount, right, off of the monthly figure, and you get, obviously most people go maximize because you'll get a lot more courses, generation credits, and storage. and it's not that much more per month, per year. So you're gonna, most people go maximize. But yeah, so you know. And there, the cost of the credits, all of that. Now, if you need any help, also, I would get you to check out the reviews. There's a bunch of reviews on the reviews page here, and that will give you hold on, loading, a bunch of reviews here that'll give you, sorry, apparently I'm not a human. 1 second. Loading. Oh, there we go. There's a bunch of testimonies of people that have really enjoyed using the system. There's also a whole lot of, you know, lots of advice there. You'll note that it really does save people a whole lot of time. I don't know if you have an example here of time, but we go on 20. I think we'll get through it in the 14 minutes. While we're waiting, I might throw, while I'm waiting, I might throw up about our trial link while we're waiting. Feel free to jump on that to do the trial while we're, and here's a 15% discount for you. This is an unbelievable discount. It's only available till the end of financial year, so it's only a couple more days, today and tomorrow. If you sign up with this before then, you'll get that 15%. No one gets, we don't normally offer a 15% discount on the annual subscription. It's normally just sort of a couple of, maybe 50% off of the first month or something like that, as part of it. But yeah, feel free to jump onto that while we're waiting. Was there any questions while we're still waiting for this course to finish? Was there any questions that you had about? Had a lot of questions. Usual for such a big audience. I thought I should tell you, we are agnostic in terms of which AI tools we use. We use a series of them, and we use the API connection to all of these tools. So at the moment, it's mostly the OpenAI model, because mostly it's generating the best value for money, and it's also generating the best output as well in terms of image and in terms of a lot of things. So it's mainly the OpenAI AI tool, but we use the API version. So you'll note that the information that you upload is in your portal, and it's locked with our 27001 ISO 27001 certification for data security, stored in AWS servers in Sydney. And what it does is it will push your prompts through the model. It'll run the prompts, and then it'll encrypt it back to your portal. So it's not ever feeding the model. So that's part of the note there. See where we're at. Come back to that, guys. Don't worry. Get another chance. So no more questions. That's unusual. Some more previews. To how it connects to our LMS as well. We've got time. Got time while we're waiting for this course to generate. We might do that. So we have an LMS system built on top of Moodle, so you might be familiar with that. If you jump in and you can add in SCORMs, or you can add in LTI. You'll notice that we've got a couple of tests here. The test SCORM. So if we're uploading it as a SCORM file, you literally go into the SCORM uploader and you go settings, and you upload the file as a zip file into there, and then you give it settings that you need to. You might want it to be in the current window or pop out in a new window. All of those things. There's a bunch of different stuff in there. and then it's available as a SCORM package on the file. You can then just enter that, and it pops up. This is one that pops up within the activity, not as a pop out. You'll notice it's sort of this is how it looks in the package. Opens up its own course. I don't know if this is the best version of my courses, but get the point. Yeah, it wants me to press, so you get the point. Now, if I want to connect via LTI, there's a setting within the main menu here, which allows me to add my LTI external tools. They will, oh, we've got some questions too. I might come back to those. We go LTI external tools. That's where you put in your keys, and that'll connect it. And then you open up the file and choose the course, and then that course is available. Julia asked, will additional training be provided if required? We can do training, but I believe you'll find that these AI tools, they have some tutorials in there. Once you've gone through it and tested it yourself, I think you'll find that you'll be able to pick it up pretty quickly anyway without any training. But there's a bunch of tutorials in there. And also, like if I'm in this school, there's a little question mark bubble, which takes me to the area, like a help guide with all the information I want. Oh, and it's sort of dot by dot. You know, if I want to learn how to connect by LTI, I can do that. It's got pictures, and it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. It guides you on how to set it up. You'll notice that it's using our LTI tool, but you can use any LMS system that has LTI compatibility. But yeah, that's an example of how it can be helped anyway. Gabriella asks, once created, who owns the material? The answer, Gabriella, is you own it. This is your content, right? Of course, it's in our platform. So if you want to edit it, you still have to edit it on our platform, and it can't be sort of popped into another platform. It won't work in terms of editing. So that's something to take note of. But yeah, you own the material. It's your material. We're not responsible for what you produce, of course. This is your stuff. Robin asks, can you explain the difference between LTI and embedding? Yes, I can. So LTI is a lot more complicated, I guess, than embedding. When you connect via LTI, it brings progression through. So as a student is progressing through their SCORM file, if you embed a SCORM file in any system, it is just like a window into the file. But if you use LTI, it transfers data back and forth. It has interoperability. That's the I in LTI. So it'll transfer the data back and forth. So I would recommend using LTI. That is the most seamless way to function in this system. Nicole asks, once we build our courses and no longer need the subscription, can we still access what we have created, or do you need to maintain the subscription to continue using the course created? That's a very good question, Nicole. So you can download those files as SCORM files, but if you ever want to edit the course, you can only edit it on our platform. The answer is sort of, you probably want to keep the platform. Of course, if you're downloading SCORM files, you've got it for a year anyway. So most people will still want to edit their courses after a year, every year, sort of update them and so often. So that is what most people do. They tend to keep their course, but in saying that, yeah, it will stay on the platform until you're ready to sign back up again. For a period of time anyway. You obviously don't hold it forever. But yeah. All right, let's see how we're going with this course. Only 22. I don't think it's going to get through. Taking a little while. All right, guys. Did I answer all your questions? Did you? You need to have a year subscription to download your course and keep it forever. If you go on a month by month, you can only use the course whilst you are on subscription. Is this correct? Yes. Yeah, if you go on month to month while you're on subscription, it'll be accessible. Obviously, it's an LTI connection, so it's not going to stay active if you don't have the subscription. Right. You'll need the subscription if you're going monthly. That is a very good point to make, Linda. Thank you for clarifying that. But yes, is the answer to that. Or if you discontinue your subscription, do you still have access to them? Yeah. So only if you've downloaded them via SCORM files. If you've got a SCORM file of the content, then it can stay there. But if you ever want to edit that, you'll probably want access to the system anyway to edit it. So I would say keep your subscription if you can. You know, but yes, you can download it if you go on there. Otherwise, yes, you'll need, if you're LTI, then you'll need to make sure that you maintain that subscription long term. And it's a monthly subscription. Oh, by the way, I wanted to mention when you sign up, it'll ask you to put in your credit card, like most subscription services these days. If you're wanting, I can't actually show you because I'm on a demo account and it doesn't give me access. But if you want to cancel, so if you want to sign up and then discontinue the cost of that, you can just go to my subscription and there's a function in there that you just turn off charge my card. It'll stop the charge. So if you do want to sign up, test it, and sign up for a month or something, you can cancel it after the month, you can. Or if you don't want to pay it all, it'll give you a 14-day free trial, and then at the end of the 14 days, it'll want to charge you or not, depending on what. So you'll have to go in and turn it off if you don't want it. All right, let's bring back up the trial link. Does anyone? I'm assuming people want the trial link, so I'll bring that back up. Right. Any last questions before we finish up? I don't think we're going to get through. I might see if I can put the preview link into the notification after, so you can see what we've produced. I'll send that through, I think, so that we can end up the session. Apologies, guys. Normally it can get something done. We had quite a lot of subtopics in this one. Yes, of course. Yes, Christina. Yes, everyone here will get a copy of the recording and obviously also a certificate of attendance, so that you can do it if you have any PD requirements that you have to attend things. Yes, of course, you'll get a copy of the recording and of course the certificate. And I'll try and in that email that goes out to you, I'll also try and put in a link to the preview course, so you can have a look at that preview course as well. Apologies that we didn't get completed. No worries, Robin. Any final questions before we head off? I think everyone's asked everything they want. Must have done a good job of answering questions. All right, great. I'll leave it there, and I will send that recording through and the copy of the course we produced. Oh, one more question. Gabrielle asks, I have struggled to hear throughout the session. Audio has dropped in and out the whole time. I can only apologize, guys. That's very good. I wanted to see the final product, so we have waited. However, it was very challenging. I'm so sorry, Gabrielle. We will definitely have a look at that again. I apologize for that trouble. I'll make sure I get that sorted by the next session. So apologies, guys. All right, ending it there. Thank you. Thanks, Belinda. I'll take a look at that and I'll get back to you. Okay. Thank you very much, everybody.